Welcome to our immigration briefing program. Today, we're diving into some fascinating stories making headlines around the globe. First up, Halifax's Walk with Refugees event makes a triumphant return, celebrating the achievements and contributions of refugees in Canada while raising awareness about the global refugee crisis. This heartwarming event brought together people from diverse backgrounds to share personal stories and highlight the urgent need for proper support for refugees. Next, we turn our attention to the United States, where former President Donald Trump's campaign has backtracked on a bold promise to grant green cards to all international students graduating in the U.S. The campaign now emphasizes a strict vetting process, sparking debates about job competition and national security. Finally, in the UK, the Conservative Party is grappling with a significant challenge from the right-wing Reform Party. Concerns are mounting that this split in the Conservative vote could pave the way for a Labour majority in the upcoming general election, potentially bringing drastic changes to policies on tax and immigration. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage on these stories. CBC, the Walk with Refugees event in Halifax returned this year after a pandemic hiatus, drawing a jubilant crowd adorned in yellow shirts and signs to celebrate the resilience and contributions of refugees. Organized by the Halifax Immigration Partnership, the event was a poignant reminder of the global refugee crisis, with the United Nations reporting a record 117.3 million displaced people. Ethiopian refugee Fekadu Abra shared his journey from displacement to finding employment in Nova Scotia's tourism and hospitality sector, thanks to support from Care for Refugees. Afghanistan refugee Asif Sudhi, who fled due to his work with the Canadian Armed Forces, expressed gratitude for his new life in Nova Scotia, though he noted that many, including his parents, are still waiting for asylum. The event underscored the importance of community support and integration for refugees. The Independent, former President Donald Trump recently suggested on the All In podcast that all overseas students graduating from U.S. colleges should automatically receive green cards, a statement his campaign quickly moderated. Trump clarified that this would apply to graduates of both four-year universities and junior colleges. However, the proposal faced immediate criticism, with immigration experts like Mark Krikorian dismissing it as impractical and potentially harmful to American workers. Chris Kmielewski from the Immigration Accountability Project warned it could reduce wages and increase job competition. Trump's campaign spokesperson emphasized that any such policy would involve rigorous vetting to exclude individuals deemed harmful to American interests. This proposal emerged from Trump's frustration over talented graduates leaving the U.S. due to visa issues, a sentiment echoed by podcast host Jason Calacanis. Telegraph, the Conservative Party in the UK faces a significant challenge from the Reform Party, which could inadvertently lead to a larger Labour majority in the upcoming election. Voters disillusioned with the Tories are considering reform, but this split in the centre-right vote could have unintended consequences. The global economic strain post-COVID, coupled with inflation driven by the Ukraine war, has exacerbated public dissatisfaction. The Conservative government's policy missteps, including a liberal post-Brexit immigration system, have also fueled discontent. A YouGov poll suggests Labour could win 425 seats, but in many constituencies, the combined Conservative and Reform vote surpasses Labour's. If the Tories fail to consolidate support, they risk losing significantly. Meanwhile, Labour's potential policies, including higher taxes, increased immigration, and new race equality laws, could further alienate Conservative voters. Those considering reform to punish the Tories may find themselves facing an even more liberal government under Labour. New York Times. The dissident Quan Piang, who daringly escaped China by traversing the Yellow Sea on a jet ski, found his meticulous planning falling short as he neared the South Korean coast. Equipped with essentials like sunscreen, a knife, and backup batteries, he regretted not having night vision goggles when he mistook floating seagulls for an open sea path, only to run aground on a mud flat. His escape was driven by his outspoken criticism of China's leader and the Communist Party's persecution of pro-democracy activists. Yet, even after reaching South Korea, Quan found himself in a precarious legal limbo, still under the shadow of Chinese state surveillance and struggling with his uncertain status. Yahoo US. Montana Republicans are gearing up to introduce legislation in the 2025 session aimed at policing illegal immigrants, inspired by similar laws in Texas and Iowa. Texas law, briefly in effect before being halted by a federal appeals court, granted state law enforcement the power to arrest and deport illegal immigrants. Iowa's legislation, also currently blocked, imposed criminal penalties and empowered local authorities to deport immigrants. Montana's proposed law, modeled after Iowa's, would classify certain immigrants' presence in the state as an aggravated misdemeanor. Despite expected legal challenges, proponents like House Speaker Matt Regier argue for allocating resources to defend the legislation, emphasizing the need for state-level action in the face of federal inaction. Yahoo US. House Democrats are urging President Joe Biden to reconsider his recent executive action at the U.S.-Mexico border, which bars asylum for illegal entrants and caps daily asylum seeker admissions. This move has sparked backlash from immigrant rights groups and politicians across the spectrum, who argue it undermines due process and humanitarian obligations. A letter from Democratic lawmakers, including U.S. Representative Veronica Escobar, criticizes the policy for forcing asylum seekers to present complex legal arguments without adequate legal support. However, another executive order from Biden, expanding protections and work permits for undocumented spouses and dreamers, has been met with praise from the same lawmakers, highlighting the ongoing tension and complexity in U.S. immigration policy. Yahoo US. For nearly 6 decades, the nonprofit Lee County Legal Aid Society has been a beacon of hope for low-income residents, offering free civil legal aid. Their latest mission is to secure permanent legal residency for abused, neglected, and abandoned immigrant children and teens. These vulnerable minors, often victims of human trafficking or aged out of foster care, now have a chance to legally live, work, and study in the U.S. thanks to a federal ARPA grant. The process starts in Lee County Family Court with a Special Immigrant Juvenile Status (SIJS) petition, followed by filing the I-360 form with USCIS. Once approved, these children can apply for work permits and social security cards, eventually leading to a green card. Success stories like Wilson from Guatemala and Lola from Honduras highlight the transformative impact of these efforts, offering a brighter future for both the children and the community. The Independent, since 1994, Simon Calder's weekly column has navigated the ever-changing landscape of the travel industry. This week, he tackles the confusion surrounding post-Brexit passport rules, which have left many travelers stranded. The EU now requires passports to be less than 10 years old at entry and have at least 3 months left before expiry at departure. Despite Calder's efforts to clarify these rules on social media, misconceptions persist. Examples include John Claude's misunderstanding about expired passports and Sarah Lockwood's confusion about long-standing regulations. The issue is further muddied by airlines like EasyJet and Ryanair, which have misapplied these rules. Calder emphasizes that while these regulations are unique to the EU, they are a direct consequence of Brexit, urging travelers to be vigilant and informed. Telegraph. The debate on immigration often fixates on numbers, but Michael Nazir-Ali argues it's equally about culture. While immigration impacts housing, education, and healthcare, it also influences the social fabric. Drawing on Edmund Burke's conservative philosophy, Nazir-Ali emphasizes that society is inherently social, shaped by shared history, language, and customs. He cites the D-Day commemoration as a testament to a collective memory of overcoming adversity. The UK has a history of welcoming immigrants, guided by a moral tradition rooted in Judeo-Christian teachings. However, newcomers must understand and respect the rich tapestry of British values and laws, including prohibitions against practices like forced marriage and discrimination. Immigration policy, therefore, should balance numbers with the need to maintain social cohesion and shared values. New York Times. At the heart of the rapid rise of the nationalist right in France, with its view of immigrants as a direct threat to the essence of the country, there appears to be a growing feeling among many French people that they are no longer at home in their own nation. This sentiment, a vague but potent malaise, encompasses a sense of dispossession and transformed neighborhoods due to the arrival of mainly Muslim immigrants from North Africa. The National Rally, whose anti-immigrant stance is central to its burgeoning popularity, has capitalized on this. Jordan Bardella, a prominent figure in the party, likened the need for secure national borders to a house needing doors and windows, a message that resonates widely and has propelled the party to significant electoral victories, including a recent triumph over President Emmanuel Macron's party in the European Parliament elections. Faced with this challenge, Macron has called for legislative elections, risking a nationalist far-right government before the upcoming Olympic Games in Paris. Associated Press. Loudon, New Hampshire, Daniel Suarez, a NASCAR driver and native of Monterrey, Mexico, celebrated becoming a United States citizen this week, a journey marked by a surprising revelation from his mother that he almost was born American. His parents had considered moving to the U.S. for his birth but found the costs prohibitive. Laughing, Suarez recounted how his parents had hoped for more opportunities by being born in the U.S., a dream he realized in his own way. Suarez was one of 48 new citizens sworn in at a ceremony in Charlotte, North Carolina, attended by his fiancée, team members, and NASCAR president Steve Phelps. Suarez's journey began with a childhood passion for racing, supported by his father, who sold his auto restoration business to fund Suarez's racing career. Suarez became the first foreign champion in a NASCAR National Series in 2016 and has since achieved multiple career milestones. Reflecting on his naturalization, Suarez emphasized the security and sense of belonging it provided, as he prepares for his upcoming marriage in Brazil and future family plans. Telegraph. Labour risks opening the door to 100,000 illegal migrants if Sir Keir Starmer joins an EU quota scheme, warned Home Secretary James Cleverly. He claimed this move would reverse Brexit by the back door, contradicting the desires of the British public. Cleverly criticized Labour's immigration plans, including scrapping the Rwanda deterrent and potentially granting an illegal migration amnesty. He argued this would make the UK a soft touch for illegal migrants. The Tories are using the 8th anniversary of the Brexit vote to attack Labour's stance on EU relations, accusing Sir Keir of wanting to re-enter the EU's orbit despite his denials. Labour, however, insists it has no plans to rejoin the EU or its quota system, focusing instead on closer cooperation on trade and other areas. Exclusive polling reveals a divided public opinion on Brexit's impact on immigration control, with a majority feeling it has hindered the UK's ability to manage immigration. Labour has dismissed the Tories' claims as desperate lies, emphasising their commitment to managing borders and the asylum system effectively. Telegraph. Labour is on the brink of securing an unprecedented majority in the upcoming British elections, but it's not due to a surge in their popularity. In fact, Sir Keir Starmer is expected to garner fewer votes than Boris Johnson did in the last election, and possibly even fewer than Jeremy Corbyn in 2017. The overwhelming prediction of more than 400 seats for Labour, with some estimates going above 500, is a reflection of the deep unpopularity of the Conservative Party. Founded in 1834, the Conservative Party has never faced such dire predictions, even when considering its earlier incarnation as the Tory Party dating back to the 1680s. The current government's missteps, including an ill-timed election announcement and a series of blunders during the campaign, have only exacerbated their woes. Historians might look back at this period as an example of unforced prime ministerial errors, with inflation and immigration issues still being addressed. Yet, despite the imperfections of the current government, the disproportionate collapse of the Tories remains puzzling. Past collapses were usually due to significant crises, like aligning with enemy powers or resisting franchise expansions. Today's grievances, such as missed immigration targets and rising taxes, seem minor in comparison. The Conservatives' long tenure has naturally led to greater scrutiny and voter fatigue, but the alternative approaches proposed by Labour and Reform, such as returning illegal immigrants to France, offer little innovation. The economic consequences of the pandemic, with lockdowns and increased public spending, have also played a role in the current dissatisfaction. Ultimately, after 14 years in office, the Conservatives face not just defeat but potential annihilation, a fate that seems disproportionate to their actual governance. The Globe and Mail. Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who was killed a year ago, remains an enigmatic figure whose life and death have sparked a diplomatic firestorm between Canada and India. To India, Nijjar was a terrorist advocating for an independent Sikh state called Khalistan, while to many Sikh separatists, he was a hero. Canadian authorities have yet to provide compelling evidence to support India's allegations against him, which include involvement in a 2007 cinema bombing and an attempted murder in 2021. Interviews with those who knew Nijjar reveal his deep connections to Sikh extremism, including organizing weapons training in British Columbia and links to the Khalistan Tiger Force. The mystery of whether Canada was harboring a terrorist or if India's government inflated the threat for political gain is complicated by decades of mistrust between the two nations. The assassination of Nijjar has reignited tensions that date back to the Air India bombing 40 years ago, highlighting the ongoing, explosive history between India's Hindu majority and its Sikh minority. The killing has brought Indo-Canadian relations to their lowest point since the 1980s, with sectarian rhetoric heating up among Canada's South Asian diasporas. Despite the complexities surrounding Nijjar's life and aims, his death has undeniably deepened the rift between Canada and India, making the issue of Sikh separatism a significant diplomatic challenge. The Toronto Star. I can vividly recall my first foray into the world beyond sheltered suburbia, venturing to Barrie for an all-day music festival. It was Lollapalooza 1992, and it marked the beginning of my journey to find myself and my people, fellow music enthusiasts. These outdoor music festivals became my summer camp, forging lifelong friendships and creating memories that I still cherish. In those enclosed yet open-air communities, we took care of one another, bonding over shared experiences and the music we loved. As the years passed and I settled down with a family, my music festival adventures took a back seat. But the urge to chase the dragon's tail returned, and I found myself exploring Ontario's vibrant music scene once more. From Ottawa Blues Fest to the Up Here Festival in Sudbury, the options seemed endless. Even though my kids don't share the same itch to get out of the house, they've inherited my enthusiasm for music and know that I trust them to be adventurous. These festivals offer a chance to relive those carefree days and perhaps meet new friends who share the same nostalgic love for outdoor concerts. While I may not fit the textbook definition of a happy camper, I wholeheartedly support initiatives like the Toronto Star Fresh Air Fund, which enables kids to attend camp and enjoy the outdoors. It's a wonderful way to show support for children who might not otherwise have the opportunity to experience the joys of summer camp, just as I found my own version of it through music festivals. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Riches flow, iron fist, gold streets, power resist, economy crush, rise and fall, traitors bleed, our call. Factories roar, skill and might, workers sweat, endless night, stubborn and surge, shadows blend, rise of empires no end. Dragons well, blood and steel, screams unheard, profits real, in war crews cold, fortunes made, workers fate, in the shade. Curse war, silent fight, cradles burn, like a night, through the storm, the ugly economic power, move a steam, contract sign, trails deep, backroom deals, bombs asleep, bank bombs echo, greed's insatiable cry. In this mental wasteland, dreams die. Like a sweat, endless night, stubborn surge, shadows blend, rise of empires no end. Dragons roll, blood and steel, screams unheard, profits real, in war crews cold, fortunes made, workers fate, in the shade. Curtain war, silent fight, cradles burn, like a night, through the storm, the ugly economic power, move the sea. Curtain war, silent fight, cradles burn, like a night, through the storm, the ugly workers fate, in the shade. Curtain war, silent fight, cradles burn, like a night. Through the spawn, the ugly economic power rules the sea. Contract sign, betrayals deep, backroom deals, arms asleep, bank bombs echo, greed's insatiable cry. In this mental wasteland, dreams die. Contract sign, betrayals deep, backroom deals, vultures As a wasteland, trees die.